Hello students, this session is about the fourth chapter of fifth sem organic chemistry paper, Chemistry of Natural Products, and this deals with carbohydrates. Here you will learn about introduction, classification and structural elucidation of carbohydrates. What do you mean by carbohydrates? In earlier classes only you are studying about carbohydrates. They are the most important and abundant biomolecules in nature. They are defined as the compounds containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen which are present in the ratio same as water. They are regarded as hydrates of carbon corresponding to the formula CxH2OY. So this is the earlier definition for carbohydrates. They can be considered as the hydrates of carbon. All carbohydrate molecule can be written with this general formula. But afterwards it is found that certain carbohydrates do not correspond to this formula. So now it is defined as optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. The new definition for carbohydrate is they are optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones because most of the carbohydrates are optically active. Now, how can we classify carbohydrates? Broadly, they can be classified into sugars and non-sugars. Sugars and non-sugars are the main classification of carbohydrates. How do they differ? Sugars are crystalline in nature, whereas non-sugars are non-crystalline in nature or they are amorphous in nature. Sugars are soluble in water. We know about the sugar what we are using in house. It is also soluble in water. So almost all sugar carbohydrates are soluble in water, whereas non-sugars are insoluble in water. Then they are sweet in taste. Which one? Sugars are sweet in taste, whereas non-sugars are tasteless. An example for sugars we can give glucose, sucrose, fructose, etc. Whereas non-sugars example we can give as starch, glycogen, cellulose, etc. Now, depending on the composition or the number of simple sugars obtained on hydrolysis, they can be classified into monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. This classification is based on the composition or the number of simple sugars obtained from the carbohydrate on hydrolysis. So they can be classified into monosaccharide, oligosaccharide and polysaccharides. What do you mean by monosaccharides? They contain only one sugar unit. It contains only one sugar unit which cannot be hydrolyzed further into simple units. So monosaccharide means the carbohydrate which contain only one sugar unit which cannot be hydrolyzed further into simple units. Further, these monosaccharides can be classified into triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose, etc. depending on the number of carbon atoms present in the monosaccharide molecule. Similarly, based on the functional group present, they can be classified into aldoses and ketoses. If the functional group is aldehyde group, we call it as aldose, and if it is keto group, we call it as ketose. So examples are for monosaccharides can be given as glucose, fructose, mannose, galactose, etc. Some example for monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, mannose, galactose, etc. Then, what is oligosaccharides? Oligo means Fu. Oligo means Fu. Means what? From 1 to 19 units of monosaccharides on hydrolysis they will be generated. These carbohydrate on hydrolysis will be getting, if we are getting 2 monosaccharide, we call it as disaccharide. If 3 we are getting we call it as trisaccharide. So we collectively call this di, tri, tetra, penta, all these things. Up to 19 monosaccharides if we are getting on hydrolysis, we call it as oligosaccharide. They are further classified into disaccharide, trisaccharide, saccharides, tetrasaccharides, etc. depending upon the number of monosaccharides unit present. For this oligosaccharide, we can give example sucrose, lactose, maltose, etc. Now, coming to polysaccharides. What do you mean by polysaccharides? They are polymers of monosaccharides. They are polymers of monosaccharide. They can be classified into, there are many monosaccharide units linked together through glycoside linkage in polysaccharides. that is polysaccharide. There will be n number of tons of monosaccharide molecules in polymers. So they can be further classified into homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. Homo means what? Same, similar. Hetero means different. So as the name indicates, if the polysaccharides are made from same monosaccharide units, it is called homopolysaccharides. Example, starch, glycogen, cellulose. Once again, if the polysaccharides are made from same monosaccharide units, it is called as homopolysaccharides. Example, starch, glycogen and cellulose. Now, if the polysaccharides are made from two or more different polysaccharide units, it is called heteropolysaccharides. For example, we can give the example heparin or chondroitin. These can be given as an example for heteropolysaccharides, where different monosaccharide unit will be joined together through glycosidic linkage. Now, the basic carbohydrate is glucose, which is very familiar for us, glucose molecule, and we know it is a hexose. But how to arrive at the structure of glucose? Glucose is the most abundant sugar found in fruits. They are commonly found in fruits. The open chain structure of glucose is proposed based on the following observation by Bayer. So the open chain structure of glucose is proposed by the scientist Bayer. How? Based on different method. So the first method is molecular formula from elemental analysis and molecular weight determination. The molecular formula of glucose is found to be C6H12O6. As you all know, this is the first step of finding out the molecular structure of an organic compound. Determination of molecular formula, and for that we follow the method elemental analysis and molecular weight determination. So from the elemental analysis and molecular weight determination, it was found that the molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Then glucose on reduction with hydroiodic acid and red phosphorus gives N-hexane. N-hexane means what? How many carbon atom it contains? It contains 6 carbon atom. So what it shows? Glucose also contains 6 carbon atom. This reaction indicates that 6 carbon atoms are present in glucose and they are in straight chain, because N-hexane also contains 6 carbon atom in straight chain. Here the reaction, this is the glucose of our expected structure. We don't know that what structure. Then glucose molecule on treating with HI and red phosphorus and prolonged reaction with the same thing. Finally, we get normal hexane, where all the carbon atom are arranged in a linear chain, straight chain. Now, thirdly, glucose react with HCN. HCN is what? Hydrogen cyanide. Then NH2OH, hydroxylamine. Then C6H5NHNH2, phenyl hydrazine, indicating the presence of carbonyl group. All these reagents will be giving addition product with carbonyl compounds. They will react only with carbonyl compound. So when glucose is reacting with all this reagent, it shows that there will be carbonyl compound present in glucose also. But carbonyl compounds are 2. It can be aldehyde group, it can be ketonic group. So with this reaction, we can just say that it may contain carbonyl group, it may contain a carbonyl group, a ketonic group or an aldehyde group. Here is the structure, is the reaction with NH2OH hydroxylamine, it gives glucose oxime. The product with hydroxylamine is termed as oxime. So this is glucose oxime. Then with HCN, hydrogen cyanide, it will give cyanohydrin, glucose cyanohydrin will be formed. Then with phenyl hydrazine, the product is termed as phenylhydrazone. So we get the product glucose phenylhydrazone. So these 3 reactions shows that it contain, glucose molecule contain a carbonyl group, but it can be either aldehyde group or a ketonic group. Now, glucose gets oxidized to gluconic acid having the same number of carbon atom as the original compound, indicating the presence of carbonyl group as aldehyde group. What if it is a ketonic group? if it is a ketonic group, it will break. We'll be getting a mixture of carboxylic acid which contain lesser number of carbon atom than the starting compound. But because we are getting the gluconic acid which contains same number of 6 carbon atom, we can say the carbonyl group present in glucose is an aldehyde group. So this reaction shows that this contain the carbonyl group is aldehyde group. Then formation of penta-acetyl derivative on acetylation indicate the presence of 5-hydroxyl group. What is the meaning of this? 1 acetylation means the reaction with acetyl chloride. Introduction of acetyl group is termed as acetylation. So 1 OH group will be reacting with 1 acetyl chloride. So 1 OH can be converted to 1 acetate group. So formation of penta-acetyl derivative, 5 acetyl groups are getting added to the glucose molecule. It shows that there will be 5 hydroxyl group in the glucose molecule. See here, glucose is reacting with 5 acetic anhydride molecule to form penta-acetyl glucose, penta-acetyl derivative of glucose along with the formation of acetic acid. This shows that there are 5 hydroxyl group on glucose molecule. Now, these hydroxyl group also, whether the same carbon atom contain 2 hydroxyl group or all the different carbon atom contain different same hydroxyl group. How can we find out that? If the 2 OH group are on the same carbon atom, it will be highly unstable. There will be a tendency to form dehydration and we'll be getting a double bond. But that is not happening and glucose is a very stable molecule. What does it show? It shows that all the 5 hydroxyl groups are on different carbon atoms. As glucose is not easily dehydrated, each hydroxyl group must be attached to a different carbon atom. Thus, glucose has 1 CHO group, 5 OH group, and based on the observation, Bayer proposed the following structure. This structure, this straight chain structure is given, open chain structure is given for glucose. CHO, CHOH, 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 and finally CH2OH. Now, how many chiral carbons are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4. First and the last one are not chiral carbons. So there are 4 chiral carbons. Then how many optical isomers are possible? We have learned in the chapter stereochemistry that if the number of chiral carbons are n, then the number of optical isomers possible will be 2 raised to n. So it has 4 asymmetric center and therefore 2 raised to 4, 16 optical isomers are possible. So, Emil Fischer showed that naturally occurring glucose has the following structure. This is the naturally occurring glucose. Fischer structure, Emil Fischer structure, based on the concept what Bayer has proposed, has derived the open chain structure for glucose as this. That is CHO, CHOH, COHH, CHOH, CHOH and CH2OH. Now, DL notation. This also we have learned in stereochemistry chapter. How can we give DL notation for glucose molecule? To assign DL notation for carbohydrate, the lowest asymmetric carbon in the Fischer projection is considered. Which is the lowest asymmetric carbon? This is the lowest, 5th carbon atom is the lowest asymmetric carbon atom. So, this is considered for the assigning of DL notation. In this carbon, on this carbon, if OH is on the left, we call it as L-glucose. And if OH is on the right, we call it as D-glucose. So, there are glucose, we can be classified, we can give notation for glucose as D-glucose and L-glucose based on the position of OH group on the last asymmetric carbon, that is 5th asymmetric carbon atom. So students, in this session you would have learned about the introduction to carbohydrate, then classification of carbohydrate and structural elucidation of glucose.